let's talk about seasonings. For me, spices is a very fun topic. I don't know. I love spices, and I love them because you can spice up a meal. I don't know that I consider what I have an essential to have in your kitchen, but it will help you just see some of the spices that are out there, what they taste like, where you can buy them, how you can use them, on what type of things you can use them, and how you can blend them together. Let's go ahead and get started with what I have. I have my spicy stuff, my blends, I have my herbs, I have powders, and I have what I call the kitchen essentials. Let's go ahead and get started with the herbs. One of my favorite places to go buy spices is Trader Joe's, and the reason I like it is because they come in these little bottles, and on the side it tells you what you can use it with, so it kind of gives you a guide on how you can use it. Basil is one of the ones that I really like. I always have this in my kitchen. I like to use this for pastas, sauces for pastas, on chicken, on fish, on my shrimp. If I feel like I want to have a little bit more of like an Italian feel to my dinner that night, then I will use this. I always say that basil has like a fresh taste, just really strong and flavorful, that it's very easy to recognize in food. Obviously, I love it fresh in my food. Probably basil is one of my favorite herbs, hands down. I love it. Parsley, I also consider it to be more of like an Italian spice. I use it again on my pastas, on chicken, on shrimp, on fish, and I will typically mix it with basil, or I will mix it with like oregano, and I will blend it with salt, lime, some kind of citrus to add it on or marinate a meat. I'm not a big steak eater, so a lot of what I use is typically for seafood and poultry. Italian seasoning. I like this one because it's blended with a lot of different herbs, and it doesn't contain salt, and I can just, you know, grab it and just shake it over whatever it is that I'm going to eat. And I don't use it all the time because sometimes I do want to taste the individual flavors of each of the spices. And again, I use this for sauces, for pastas, for soups. I love to add each of these in soups. The next one is thyme. And thyme is really potent, and I'm not sure that you'll be able to see, but thyme is more of like it's this spice that I don't know that you can kind of crush. Maybe you can because it's dried, but I use it mostly whole on my food, and it's almost like cumin, because cumin has that really strong taste if you bite into the whole like piece of cumin. I feel like thyme and rosemary is kind of like that. Thyme, I also like to use it fresh. I like to put them into my soups. It just gives it a much better flavor, and I like to put it on my chicken. Thyme on chicken with like a butter sauce, it just makes it taste so good. A little bit of thyme, butter, garlic, and salt, and that's it. You're done with your chicken. Awesome. Oregano. This is Mexican oregano, and Mexican oregano is a little bit more potent. It has a little bit different look and feel and smell and taste. It's more bitter. If you take it in your mouth and you bite it, it's a little bit more bitter. And I use this, of course, like on birria, pozole, rice, my seafood, or anything like that. I will add oregano, and I will crush it or I will blend it into the marinade. Bay leaves. If you have seen my birria video, you have seen that I use bay leaves to enhance the taste of the broth and the meat. Blends. Let me talk to you a little bit about blends. You know when you go to the store and there's these like chipotle, lime, lemon pepper, all southwestern, or Mexican flavor. I used to buy those quite a lot. I found that I really don't like them. And the reason why I don't like them is because sometimes the taste is a little bit off-putting to me, and they tend to contain a lot of salt. I don't like that. I like to have control over how much salt I put into my food. I typically don't buy blends anymore. I can look at what the blend has and I'll buy everything separately. Now, the only time when I will buy a blend is if it contains something that I don't tend to use very often, and I might as well just go with the blend. This one is the 21 Seasoning Salute from Trader Joe's, and I love it. I like this because it doesn't contain salt, and it has a lot of different things in it. I love to use this on my shrimp, and I love to use this on my chicken and fish. All of the flavors blend so well together. This, you can't recognize it, but it is a chicken bouillon. And as you have seen in some of my previous videos, I use it for a lot of my Mexican cooking. This one is another one of my favorites. This is the Everything But the Bagel seasoning, also from Trader Joe's. This goes really well on vegetables, on your eggs, on your avocado toast. Oh my gosh. But because it does contain salt, it's actually pretty salty. So I would recommend, if you're gonna cook with this, or if you're going to add it on after you're cooking, don't add salt to your food. Old Bay seasoning. And this one I usually use it as like a base layer, if that makes sense, because it does contain salt. I do have a lot of the things that it contains, so I will just add on more of whatever it contains. Let's get into my favorite. I love spicy food. Everything I cook has to have some kind of spicy, hot something in it. And if it doesn't, I will add it. Red cayenne pepper. We like to use it for marinades. So when I don't want something super spicy, but I just want a little bit of kick in it, I will use that along with paprika. These, in this packaging, I got these from Target. They're pretty inexpensive, as well as the Trader Joe ones. And I like to use those too because they're actually very spicy. So if you add just a little bit goes a long way, especially if you're marinating meat or seafood. Another one that I really like, chili powder. It just smells delicious. Oh my god, it smells so good. Be careful if you smell it. This chili powder is just a blend of a lot of different peppers, like guajillo, Anaheim, California pepper, ancho peppers. It has a little bit of a smoky smell to it and a little bit of a smoky flavor to it. You can use this as a dry rub on chicken or on your shrimp, and you kind of like just rub it on or just sprinkle it on. It tastes so good with a little bit of salt. Perfect. Smoked paprika. I don't tend to be a big fan of smoked seasonings. This one is actually very smoky. I want to say it's like a hickory or like a mesquite type of smell, and I'm not the biggest fan. Unless I'm going to mix this with like chipotles, then I'll go ahead and add it. But it's usually in my cupboard as like if I use a recipe and it calls for smoked paprika. The other favorite of mine. And I actually wanted to start making this myself and just crushing the peppers on my own. But I love this for pastas, for pizza, for on top of my chicken, for my soups. Oh my gosh, if I make a soup, like a chicken noodle soup, I love adding this on there. Next one, I powdered turmeric. I'm sure you've heard about turmeric and all of the health benefits that it has. I'm not gonna go into that, but I do like to use this when I want to give a little bit of color to my food. I love to put this on chicken. I don't know if it has like a very distinguishable taste. I honestly, when I use it, don't really taste a difference in my food unless I put a lot of it. Then I guess you could probably taste it, but I usually just dash a little bit I sprinkle it a little bit. I use this on chicken, I'll use it on shrimp. I'll put this actually on my broths or soups just to give it like a little bit of that yellow color. Ground cumin. This is really strong. If you get whole cumins and you put it in food and then you bite into one of them, you'll see how strong and potent the taste of these cumins are. That's why I like to buy it powdered, because at least powdered I don't have to, you know, run into that problem. Cumin, I like to use it in caldo de pollo. I like to put it in my chili oils or my chili sauces where it's just chili, and I put in other powders because it just makes it taste really good. Garlic powder and onion powder, I feel like they are essentials because I use a lot of onion and a lot of garlic on everything. I'll put it in like a chili oil or something like that if I'm making it from scratch, or if you don't want to use like whole garlic to make taco seasoning. Nutmeg and cinnamon. These I love for drinks, for like chocolates, hot chocolates, coffees, desserts. Pumpkin pie spice, same thing. I love it for that. That's why I keep them, especially during the fall, for oatmeal, French toast, for pancakes, for all of that stuff. I like to have it for those things. More like dessert type stuff. Pumpkin pie spice, I realize that is very popular during the fall, right before Halloween, like around September. And I made the mistake of buying this little thing. This is 1 ounce at my local grocery store, and I purchased it for $7. And then I went to Target and I found the same size for $2.99. Then I went to Trader Joe's, and I think, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but it might be the same size, something like this size. It was $1.99. So if you like pumpkin spice, check Trader Joe's. I know it gets really popular and they probably run out of it all the time. Alright, we're like at the end of it. I have used kosher salt for quite a long time for a lot of my stuff. I also use it to clean my cast iron skillet after I've used it, because it scrubs it, right? But I did not know that it actually contains less sodium than regular table salt, like the granulated salt. And this, when you grab it, and if a recipe calls for a pinch of salt, it's pinchable and it's thicker and it's coarse. The other essential that I like, fresh crushed black pepper. And I also keep a little container of peppercorns. I do keep crushed black pepper. If like people come over or whatever, I have like the salt shaker and pepper shaker. I honestly like the taste of freshly crushed black pepper, and this goes great on everything. That's why I think these two, salt and pepper, are like an essential to have in your kitchen. Alright, and that is all. I hope that you watched till the end. I hope that you found this very helpful. My goal with this video was to really help out people who are a little bit afraid to maybe play around and try new things, new seasonings. If you like these type of videos that can help you with your cooking, let me know in the comments. Also, go follow me on Instagram if you want to see more recipes. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you found the information valuable to you. Go ahead and subscribe and share with your friends. And I will see you in the next one. Adios.